Today, I'm going to show you the fastest, easiest SEO niche selection process I've seen so far for starting up a new SEO website. And I'm specifically designed and tailor-made this for creating AI content sites at bulk, getting more SEO traffic and monetizing them so that you can make money passively. Now, this is a very similar process to how I've achieved results like this, where I can find thousands of keywords, create content at bulk. I don't need to get involved much in the content creation process, and I'll run you through it all today for free to give you a predictable, scalable way to find SEO niches for AI content. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to do it all, step by step, with minimal friction. Let's go. So if you're wondering what a niche is, basically, this is a specific topic you target with your content, because the more specific you can be, the more you look like an authority to Google. And also, when Google's crawling your site and it's trying to compare, okay, whose results should I show in the SERPs? Well, this is how you outcompete bigger sites on Google, because if they're a generalist, but you're an authority on the topic, we've got a much higher chance of ranking, even if that topic is very competitive, or even if you're competing with higher DR sites. Now, you still might be wondering, why pick a niche? Well, let's invert the problem, right? If you want to fail completely at SEO, here's what you do. You pick a super competitive niche that's too hard to rank in, that you can't actually monetize. So you can't monetize it with ads or anything like that. And there are niches you need to avoid, so make sure you keep watching. And with AI, if you wanted to fail, you'd pick a niche where all the content needs to be very carefully proofread and fact-checked with stringent quality checks so that your content is actually authoritative. And you'd make content creation very, very complex, time-consuming, and difficult. That's exactly what you do if you want to fail, right? So this is what you should avoid. And I know that all sounds silly, but I see people doing it every single day and don't even realize it. So if you don't follow the process I'm about to show you, you'll basically take the long road around SEO, and then you'll come back to my channel in 6 months starting from scratch. So here's what you need to know. If you pick the right niche, you can find thousands of easy keywords to rank for. For example, this niche here, right? If you go into birds, this is the one that I've used for my AI site. We can see, first of all, there's a lot of keywords related to this topic. There's a lot of questions around that topic. And if we filter this down to KD 20 or less, you can see there's still loads of low competition keywords, like it's outrageously easy. Now, you don't need S for the method I'm going to show you. And this process, you don't need any expensive tools, really. You can do this for free, and I'll explain how to later. And I've not seen anyone else really talk about what I'll show you today. So normally there's a lot of doubt in the SEO niche selection process. It's not easy. Fast and niche selection don't usually come together in the same sentence. So with an affiliate site, for example, you should be slow. You should be meticulous and very detailed. It'd be foolish to rush into that. As Elvis Presley once said, only fools rush in, right? But however, with AI, if you can post like 24 articles a day, or if you can scale up and publish 1,000 articles at once, as I've shown in my videos before, well, you can optimize for speed. And I've seen some people creating AI content sites, scaling the content and ranking within weeks for brand new, fresh domains. You probably even saw the case study that I showed you yesterday. Now, here's the problem though. When we do niche selection, most people rush and they just want to start taking action, creating content, building links and all that sort of fun stuff. Now, the other problem is, right, if you pick the wrong niche, you might not be able to monetize it. So for example, my friend, he had an anime site and you can see like the keyword volumes are super high. The keyword difficulty is super low. So you think, right, let's go ahead with that. Well, actually, no. Because if you can't monetize this content, if all the ad networks reject you, then you're not going to make any money. And then you'll spend 3 or 6 months wasting your time creating content around a site that's never going to make a single penny. Whereas if you pick the right niche, for example, like this one, this is how you can find thousands of keywords you can monetize with ads. They're all very low competition. I could probably create another 2 or 3,000 if I really wanted to. And you'll see in the niche research method, right? Now, the other thing I would say is that AI SEO niche selection and normal SEO niche selection are totally two different things, right? So for example, if you're going to be writing content or you're going to be hiring writers and you're working really hard on one website and dedicating a lot of time to it, well, you need a decent amount of passion for that, right? Whereas if you're just publishing tons of articles at bulk, you've got a team doing it, you can automate most of it, well, then passion isn't really a concern. You don't worry about whether you're passionate about that niche. And the same for monetization. If you're using AI SEO, it's going to be challenging to monetize that unless you spend a decent amount of time optimizing your creating, adding the copywriting elements, designing it very nicely, optimizing for conversion rate optimization so that when people go on the page, they read through it and you influence them to click a link or to buy something. With AI, that's hard to do. But a normal SEO website, that would be easy to do. So the main monetization method that I'm going to focus in this video, and it's not like how everyone does it, this is just how I'm suggesting it, then you would use ads networks. That's the easiest, fastest method, especially if you're creating like 1,000 articles at bulk. And the same for your money or your life niches, right? So With AI SEO, you definitely shouldn't be writing about health or something like that, right? Because you could give the wrong facts. Google's going to see you're not fact checking your content, and most of it's going to be wrong. But if it's a subjective niche, well, that's great. That's perfect. And as well, with AI, you don't really create many images or videos or digital assets along with your AI content because right now that might change in the future, but right now that's quite hard to do. So you would avoid visual content. So, for example, like DIY tutorials or something like that, that'd be quite difficult to do with AI. Instead, you go after informational related keywords. So here's the trade off. When you're doing AI SEO, you're more optimizing for speed. Whereas if you do normal SEO, you're optimizing for quality. Two totally different things. You can't really do both. And the simplest solution with AI is often the best because it's easier to implement. And with this AI content project, we're optimizing for speed, not quality. Additionally, avoid fact-driven content, right? So AI and ChatGPT especially is often wrong about, unless you're using like Perplexity, for example. So unless you're fact-checking every article, which would again slow you down, then you want to find a very subjective niche where everything is very opinionated. And some good examples include spirituality or affirmations. Bad examples would include financial advice or health. We definitely want to stay away from YMYL niches. And if we're publishing content in bulk, it would be ethically wrong to do anything else, right? So we have to focus on non-fact driven content, nothing ethically immoral, where AI content could get it totally wrong. For example, like parenting, medical, nutrition, health, avoid that. Instead, stuff like spiritual is really good. Now, a key consideration as well is competition. I'm going to show you how to apply all of these filters to your niche research. We'll go through it step by step in this video, but you need to understand this first. Otherwise, you won't do it very well and you'll get it totally wrong. So with competition, if the competition is too high, obviously you're not going to rank. And then everything becomes like 100 times harder from day one. That's exactly what you don't want. So instead, pick low competition niches that make it easier to go from point A to point B in a straight line rather than going all over the place and running around and wasting a lot of time and frustration along the way. I don't know what I'm doing with my finger here. So how would you start with this? Well, in the spirit of being efficient and simple and making everything easy, we can use ChatGPT. Now, I'm going to use 4 for this just because I don't want any mistakes in the process. You can use 3.5 though, it's very similar. And you just have to give ChatGPT the constraints that you're working with and find niches from there. And everything is easier and simpler because you're creating content at speed. So where should you start? Well, you can use a prompt like this. You can say, right, find me 50 SEO niche ideas based on these constraints. And then what we've talked about previously, you would paste in. I'm going to paste in all the topics that we talked about previously. I'm going to put these, if you want the prompts for this, I will put it in my free course so that you can get free access to it along with this tutorial. And you will say, find me 50 niche ideas, and then you just insert the content below. Now, ChatGPT is going to filter this for you and come up with some ideas. And there are obviously limitations to using ChatGPT. No niche selection process is perfect. But with ChatGPT, you can use speed and efficiency. So you can get a list of niche ideas pretty rapid, saving you time and effort brainstorming. And it's very objective, right? So for us, we have personal biases. We see the world for our own reality, not through what the actual truth is. So ChatGPT, it doesn't have personal biases or preferences that might skew the selection of niches, and that can help you to get an unbiased perspective on what potential niches you could go after. And if you look through this list, there's still going to be some dumb stuff in there, right? So apply your own common sense, filter it down, figure out what you think is best from this list of 50 ideas. And these are just suggestions. You don't have to go with all of them. So for example, like personal budgeting, that probably wouldn't be a good one because it's related to financial advice. But meditation could be an interesting one, right? So we're going to check meditation and we're going to say, give me 20 sub niches based on meditation because we want to delve deeper into this topic and we could potentially see, right, should we be focusing on one specific niche or sub niche from this list, or which ones should we avoid? We can also get ideas for keyword research from this as well. And then from there, you can say, score each option based on this in the table, right? And then we're going to give it another list of constraints to score it on because we want to score this objectively as a data-driven approach to picking an SEO niche that actually gives us result, not just a skewed opinion of what we think might be best because it looks fun. So as we said, we're going to make sure we filter for subjectivity, content, nothing visual or tutorial related, easy to find keywords, bulk keyword opportunities, ad revenue, seasonality, etc. Now, obviously, when it comes to easy to find keywords, we'll do more of that in a second. But the thing you have to note here is that GPT's data is very old, right? So it only goes up to 2021. So this data is not going to be highly accurate. And that's why I've added in another step later down the line. So we get this table with a score out of 10 for each of the sub niches we talked about previously on meditation. And you might also be wondering with ad revenue, will your AI site get approved for, say, AdSense or other ad networks? I've seen people start websites within 24 hours, get tons of AI content on there, publish like 1,000 bulk articles at once, and they still get approved for AdSense. So it is possible, absolutely. And then you'll see here, we've got the sub niche down here, and then we've graded the niche by subjectivity, content, easy to find keywords. One other table column that you'll notice here is seasonality. Now, we want to avoid niches where the seasonality and therefore the revenue of the business goes up and down like that. That's not a good one to go for, because if you have half the year where your search volume is 10% of what it should normally be, well, that's a problem for you. You can't rely on that revenue. And if you need to invest in content or tools or anything else in your business, well, it's going to be hard to do that with a seasonal business. Instead, we want to avoid that. Now, the good thing about spiritual stuff is that it's not very seasonal. It's all year round most of the time. And there we can see we've got an overall rating. Now, actually, most of these have scored 8, which is great. That's a good find. And then you want to be able to find at least 500 questions or more that are low competition. Now, if you want to do this for free, you could easily go to Google and find like a free keyword tool. You could use Google Keyword Planner as well. There are lots of tools you can try on the first page. It's going to take you a bit longer because it's more manual. Or you can type in your keyword over here. You can do some research and say, right, what are the best questions to target? So you've got the people also asked section on Google, and then you can just keep expanding this for different search terms. You'll build up a list. You can copy and paste this into a sheet and just get as many questions as you want. And then you can easily analyze on the page, okay, who am I competing with? So if you're competing with like big sites like mindful.org or you, good luck. Like that's just going to be too hard to rank for. Headspace, big brand, going to be very hard to compete with them. So you need to find the opportunities in your niche. So for the purpose of this video, I'll be using a paid keyword tool, but don't worry, as I've shown you already, you can figure this out yourself manually if you want to spend more time on it. And like I said, ideally you want to find 500 to 1,000 keywords you can easily rank for. Now, how do you do that? Well, you can take the keyword, for example, like guided meditations or even just meditations. You paste it into Keyword Explorer like this. We're going to filter the KD to 0 to 20 max. Ideally, we want questions because these are informative, informational pieces of content that we can easily use AI to answer. And there's not going to be much competition here because for most businesses, it doesn't make sense to go after an informational keyword. It won't bring them much revenue in return because they're not monetizing with ads. It's not a commercial keyword, and therefore, if they invest some resources into creating content around informational content, well, it doesn't make sense, right? From an economic perspective. So if you go after low competition keywords, it's going to be easier. Now, as you can see, not many opportunities here. So what you can do is actually filter that down again, and we'll go for a broader term because maybe that sub niche was too specific. And then we'll change the KD to 20 again. We'll show the results. We'll change this to phrase match. We'll remove the S off there, right? And then put that as 0 to 20. Let's apply, see what we've got here. And there you can see we've got 177 keywords already, which is awesome. Decent amount of volume for each of these keywords. And bear in mind, like these keyword traffic estimates are much higher than you actually expect. Quite often, this doesn't account for all the variations of this keyword, right? So people actually type into Google meditation, name of meditation teacher. What is a meditation teacher called? What can you call a meditation teacher? There are all these semantic variations of the same question that you will get traffic for if you rank for each of these keywords. And the good thing about meditation is it's very subjective. Everyone has their own opinion on what meditation is, how to do it, what you should do, etc., which is great. And then what you would do is start building up a spreadsheet with each of the keywords that you can find. Now, bonus point, if you want to find really easy keywords to rank for, what you can actually say is let's find a DR30 ranking in the top 5 of Google. If we show the results like this, well, that's going to be even easier. And you can see there's slightly less keywords. So there's 70 keywords versus 177 before. But you know each of these keywords super easy to rank for, right? So for example, like how to lead a meditation, very easy, which means we don't need many backlinks to rank. High volume, decent traffic potential. We've got many other keywords we could check out based on that topic. And if we scroll down to the results, well, we can see there's a DR32 there, DR32 there, 14, 28, 28. You know this keyword is going to be easy to rank for because to get to that point where you're a DR30 doesn't require many backlinks. And also these are low authority sites. If all the sites you're competing with are like DR99, forget it, you're not going to rank. But if you're seeing like DR14s on the first page of Google and it's a 403, you live in the dream, my friend. And that is a great keyword to go for. And it's a sign that this is a less competitive niche. Now, just being completely objective on this whole video, it's quite an obvious niche, right? You would take niche ideas and you would delve deeper. You might take inspiration from, say, meditation, and then look at what other people also talk about. And from there, you can say, right, well, actually, maybe I should look into mindfulness instead. Maybe that's a good keyword. Maybe I should look at self-awareness. And the main thing is you just keep digging and keep looking and finding more opportunities. You don't just have to focus on meditation there. There's many variations of chakra, different sub-niches you could go into there that lead to more opportunities and more AI sites. The more creative you can be with this process, the better, because you'll be thinking differently to what 99% of people do, which means that you find better niches, lower competition spots, and you get AI site ranking and making more money with ad revenue. So for example, we could take visualization as a topic, and then with ChatGPT, give me 20 sub niches of, and then we could try and put that into, we'll look at what comes up. We'll go for matching terms over here. We'll type in questions again. If we scroll down the list already, or if we type in chakra, and you can see if we scroll down the list, there's a lot of questions being asked about chakras. And also a lot of these are KD7, KD12, 15, 17, very subjective spiritual niche, which is great, which means AI can have an opinion, humans can have an opinion. There's no strict definition on that as far as I'm aware. And then additionally, you might want to find websites ranking for chakra and see who's your competition and can you realistically outrank them. So if we were delving deeper into this, we could look at this keyword, for example, and build up a list of competitors that we're going after. So if we scroll down this list, well, we've got a D29 ranking on the first page for this keyword, and that's related to our potential niche. So we can copy their domain into a spreadsheet, save it for later, and then we could come back and see what they're ranking for that we could potentially rank for too. We could even search Google for their site. So look and see what other topics they're publishing content around. So they're talking a lot about gemstones, for example, and that could be an interesting niche. Now, the beauty of AI is that you don't need to pick just one niche, right? You can create as many sites as you want, create as much content as you want. There are many ways to publish content at bulk, as I've shown you in all my videos on YouTube. And I would recommend building out a spreadsheet of niche ideas that you can compare and come back to, because even if you don't create a website about it today, you could create one later and we can start putting these into a spreadsheet, right? Qualified niches that we know we could realistically rank for. So if we filter this down to KD20 or below, let's see what we got for chakra. Right, we've got 300 keywords. For meditation, how many have we got? Meditation, we've got 177. You could also look at how some sites optimize the content, and then you just start building out a spreadsheet that looks like this, where you've got the niche, how many low competition keywords you can find for this particular topic, the subjectivity, how monetizable it is, and the low DR competition. Now, for the monetizable bit, you want to make sure that you can find competitors who are actually creating content around the same topic that can monetize their content with ads. Because if you can't find anyone doing it, then there's a small chance that if you create a whole website around this, you do all the hard work to do that, you get rejected by ad networks when you apply for it. So if we look at the monetized section and we look at meditation, for example, like this topic, how do you feel after meditation? We can see who's ranking for it. Like, for example, this low DR site. And then we can see, right, how are they monetizing their content? Well, if we check on their website, you can see that they're monetizing their content with a Zoic ad. So that's an opportunity for us because we know if they can do it, we can do it, and we're all good to go on that. And you can also see the sub niches that they're talking about. So they've probably focused on one, started off with yoga, and then they've expanded as they've reached all the potential keywords in that niche. So you can see we could potentially go after meditation or mindfulness. Yoga is another good option. And you can gradually expand as you run out of keywords in each niche. The other good thing is as well, that as you publish more keywords, you don't just have to focus on low competition stuff, because as your topical authority goes up, as you build more content and more trust with Google, it's going to be easier to rank for higher competition keywords. And then you're not stuck. You just go to the next level and the next tier of keywords that you can rank for. If you want a really good resource on that, check out my tutorial on the avalanche SEO technique, because that teaches you exactly how to figure out what level of trust you have with Google right now, so that as your authority goes up, you can target more keywords and then rank for higher competition stuff. And you can also see within this article, they've monetized with Amazon affiliate links as well. That could be another monetization method that you use later. So that's how you can do all of this. Now let's talk about the cons of all of this process, because it's not perfect, like I said. First of all, ChatGPT has no specific market knowledge, right? It provides you with very general ideas, but it's not going to give you specific market data that could be important for niche selection, right? Also, it has a limited understanding of trends because it's not updated to 2021, and there's no real in-depth analysis here. So we can compare these, we can look at these topics, but actually, does it realistically have an understanding of easy to find keywords? Probably not. And does it have an understanding of bulk keyword opportunities? Probably not. Probably does understand seasonality well, subjectivity well, ad revenue well, and it can compare options in an objective way better than most. but you have to add your own common sense here and filter down and find the right opportunities for you. So thanks so much for watching. If you want a free course with the ChatGPT prompts, and I'll include the prompts from today in this course if you sign up for it. It's completely free. You can get access instantly. I'll leave the link in the description below. Make sure you subscribe if you want more case studies. We're going to be launching some new sites soon. I'm going to show exactly what the results are in these videos. So I appreciate you watching as always. Thank you.